I knew I was going to break them the moment I saw their faces. It wasn't rage. It wasn't even disappointment. It was the clean, quiet certainty of someone who has already dug the grave. 2 months before that day, the winning numbers burned on my phone screen. I stared at them, not smiling, not shaking, just calculating. 12 million after taxes, enough to change everything. And I decided right then I wouldn't tell a soul. Not my siblings, not my parents, not the people who drained me for years under the name of family. Instead, I'd run a test, a final exam for blood ties. Growing up, I believed loyalty ran both ways. I was wrong. My brother Daniel only called when he needed money. My sister Claire only remembered my birthday when she was between jobs. My mother, well, she never asked for cash, but she made sure I knew I wasn't her favorite. And still, I showed up every time they needed me. So I thought, what if I needed them? Would they show up for me? The plan came easy after that. I started small. A phone call to Daniel. My voice just shaky enough. Car trouble, I said. Could you loan me $200 just until payday? His sigh was so loud I had to hold the phone away. Things are tight, man, he said. I'll call you back. He never did. Next was Claire. I told her my rent was late, that I might get evicted. She told me to ask around at work and hung up. I saved my mother for last. I told her I'd lost my job, that I was scared. Her voice softened for a second. Then she said, "You'll figure it out. You always do." Translation, not my problem. One by one, they failed. All except for one person. Someone I didn't expect. My cousin, Emily. We weren't close. She lived 2 towns over, worked 2 jobs, barely scraped by herself. When I told her I was short on rent, she didn't hesitate. "How much?" she asked. I told her $500. A big ask. Too big. She wired it the same day. No questions, no judgment, just trust. I knew then the money would go to her. But I wasn't done with the rest. Not yet. I spent the next month weaving the trap. I invited the family for dinner at a nice restaurant, booked the private room, paid in advance, told them it was important and that I needed them all there. Nothing makes them curious like the scent of money or scandal. When they arrived, they looked around like vultures circling a carcass. Daniel asked if I'd finally landed a real job. Claire joked about me finally settling down. My mother just stared at me, waiting. I waited until dessert plates were cleared. Then I pulled out a folder and slid it onto the table. Inside, a photocopy of my winning ticket, a bank statement with my new balance, and 3 sealed envelopes, one for each of them. Their faces went pale, then red, then greedy all at once. I spoke before they could. 2 months ago, I won $12 million. I told no one. Instead, I asked each of you for help. Small amounts, short term. I looked at Daniel. You said you'd call me back. At Claire, you told me to ask my coworkers. At my mother, you said I'd figure it out. I let the silence stretch until it was unbearable. Then I nodded toward the envelopes. They snatched them up like starving dogs. Inside each was a check for $1. One! And a letter explaining exactly why. Daniel slammed his envelope down. "This is a joke." "No," I said. "It's a mirror. Look into it." Claire's voice shook. "You're punishing us for not showing up when I needed you," I finished. My mother's lips pressed into a thin line. "Family doesn't keep score." "Family," I said, "doesn't disappear until there's money involved." I stood, leaving the folder on the table. As I walked out, Daniel called after me, demanding a real check. I didn't turn around. Emily got the real gift. I showed up at her tiny apartment the next morning. She opened the door in her work uniform, hair still damp from a quick shower. I handed her a cashier's check for $2 million. She froze, staring at the numbers like they might vanish. I, I can't take this, she whispered. You already earned it, I said. She cried. I didn't. It's been 3 weeks since the dinner. Daniel sent me 3 angry voicemails. Claire's posted vague quotes about toxic people on Facebook. My mother hasn't called at all, and I don't care. Because now I know the truth. Money doesn't change people. It just shows you who they were all along. I sleep better now. The $12 million sits in investments, growing quietly. Emily quit one of her jobs. She's planning to open a bakery. I told her I'd be her first customer. As for the rest of them, I imagine they'll keep waiting for me to forgive, to forget, to share. Let them wait. Some debts aren't meant to be paid. If I ever see their faces again, I'll remember that night at the restaurant. The way greed replaced blood in their eyes. The way silence said more than any apology.